record this. All right, so I know I personally have been experiencing a lot of stress and anxiety, and I'm trying to get myself in order, and that, of course, translates into then every aspect of my life, including, obviously, the business. Luckily, this business is one of the things that does bring me a lot of joy, so I always try to, when I feel off in the business, I know that I need to really realign myself. So when I feel really off, what I know that I need to do is dig deep into my personal development. And I talk about this pretty often, so you guys probably know already, but I am reading Present Over Perfect right now. I'm coming to the end of it. It's by an author, Shauna Niequist, I think is how you say her last name. And it's just amazing. It's really, I think that almost everyone on this team could relate, because I think that one thing that we all have in common is the fact that we are all busy. You know, we aren't sitting around doing nothing and then doing this business on the side too. We're all busy people. And I think if you are a lot like me, you thrive on busy, but sometimes that works to our disadvantage because you thrive on busy until you are not thriving, you know, and you're struggling to survive. So it's a great book because it teaches you about how, you know, you don't have to have it all. You don't have to do it all. It's better off to be present and in the moment and live life to the fullest rather than being perfect. And it's okay to say no to some things. So it's a really great read, and it's really helping me right now. But to take that a step forward and to give you guys some actionable steps, I wanted to give you some time management tips tonight. There are a ton of time management tips. I actually, when I was in Destin a couple of weeks ago, we did a training on using, it's called the bucket system, which you basically color code the different aspects and areas of your life, and you use the color codes to basically arrange your calendar so that you can see where you're spending your time. And that's something that I will share in the team page. I'm not going to get into it tonight because I feel like that's something that we would have to work through together. And I just want to give you some things that you can quickly put into action so that if you are feeling overwhelmed or you are feeling chaotic and unorganized, hopefully these are things that you can leave this call tonight and say, you know what, I feel better, I feel more relieved, and these are things I'm going to do. So, you know, that being said, I'm really thinking that this is going to help a lot of us. So, time management. And as I'm talking through this with you, I'm going to explain to you how these things are helping me and things that I'm doing currently or plan to be doing. And so hopefully that's helpful. So first of all, when you are thinking about your time management, think about the things that you do on a daily basis, because so many people tell me they don't have time. And I think most of you can agree that that's kind of a crap excuse. We all have time. We all have the same amount of time. It's just a matter of thinking about what takes up our time, prioritizing the things that we need to, and, you know, eliminating the things that we don't. So when you look at your life and you look at your day, think about what are the things in life and in your business that you can eliminate, automate, and delegate. So eliminate. What are the things that you're doing that are not moving you forward or not bringing you joy in your life? They're not bringing you joy. You know, mindless television, maybe it does bring you joy, maybe it doesn't. Or, you know, what, I could go on forever, but you guys get the points. The point, things in your life that don't bring you joy, or things in your business that either don't bring you joy or don't bring you further in your business. Like if you are someone who, you know, for me, for example, I love to write, but I'm such an off-the-cuff writer that, like, I like to kind of journal and to kind of, like, I use my posts and I like doing that. But to keep a blog was too, like, I'm just not as structured enough, and I don't want to have to put all the bling and the blitz and the pictures and the coding and all this stuff on my blog. So it wasn't bringing me joy. And so that's something that at this point in my business, I'm going to kind of eliminate, because it wasn't bringing me joy and it wasn't really bringing me business. So I know that there are other things I can do. So if I want to use my time, I know that I love making videos. I can upload all of my content to YouTube, which is also going to bring me traction, but it's something that brings me joy. So think of what you can eliminate. The other thing, think of what you can automate. If you're using the Challenge Tracker app, you can schedule out your daily posts. That saves you so much time. For me, I was getting up in the morning and I would look at the guide and I'd be like, no, I don't want to say that today. I want to do something different because I want it to be original. And then I sat at my computer for 30 minutes coming up with my posts. Now I've been using the tracker app and I've been scheduling my posts, and I do it all. Like I'll do, 10 days at a time and click, and they're there. And every morning at 6 o'clock, it posts in the group, and it's freeing me up in the morning. It's freeing up some mental space for me, and it's freeing up some time. So things like that you can automate, other things that you have that you can automate. Like you could even, you know what? I'll get to that in a second. And then the last thing is what you can delegate, things you can delegate out to other people to do. So it could be something like, paying someone to schedule those posts for you in your challenge groups, or paying someone to, do your house cleaning for you, or whatever it could be that you could delegate out. There are people who, there are certain jobs that people give to their husbands to do for them for their business. So, or, maybe that you need to get on your calls at night. So you ask your husband, hey, can you fold the laundry because I need to get this done? So delegating. So eliminate, automate, and delegate. One of the things that's a good idea is, so think about the 4 vital behaviors, right? We know we need to post on Facebook, right? But how many times are you sitting there thinking about what to post, and then you're playing with the font, and then you're playing with the filter, and then you're playing with the text, and you're playing with all these things? Or you just can't, you're like, I'm totally, there's nothing on my mind. I don't know what I could post. So think about how you can sit down. Let's say you have one big work day a week. Maybe on Sunday night, you sit down and you get everything ready for the week. On Sunday night, you could sit and say, okay, this week, my theme is going to be centered around happiness because, for me, if you guys have seen, I'm running the Happiness Project group. That's my focus. So maybe each day I want to talk about how working out and eating clean and coaching bring me joy. So what I could do on Sunday night is list out just quick jabs, quick topics that I could post about. Then another thing that you could do is, if you really wanted to, you could on Sunday, you're going to think this is crazy, but bear with me, people do this, okay? On Sunday, you could get into your workout space, get 5 workout outfits, and snap a selfie, right? In 5 different outfits to use for your morning post every day. People do that because it saves you that time in the morning. How many times are you doing your workout, and as you're doing your workout, you're like, oh, I should take a picture of myself doing that move. Oh, I should stop a picture. Oh, wait, I should take a video of this. Wait, I should. And then your 30-minute workout becomes 45, 50 minutes, and then you have to post about it afterwards. So if you have that kind of planned out ahead of time, then, you're still, it's the same thing as slapping up a motivational quote. It is you are working out in the morning, but you're not necessarily having to take the time to do that. Or the night before, you could take your picture, or maybe today you work out and you take your picture for tomorrow's post. Just think ahead, things that you could do like that. For those of you that say, I have no time. I get up at 5:30 and I have to get my workout in, get showered, get the kids together, get dressed, get out of the door by 7. I don't have time to do this. Those are things that you could figure out how to have time to do. Does that make sense? All right. So some other things, creating lists is going to be huge. Creating a list of post ideas, a list of, if you're running a challenge group, different topics you can talk about leading up to your challenge group. If you are, thinking about coaching posts, you can make a list of coaching posts. I actually did this. My problem with my lists is they then go missing, because I did this a couple of days ago. Actually, I'm going to pull it out right now. Sorry, leaning. I made a list of, here it is. I'm getting organized, I promise, of team page content, because I was sitting and I was like, I do these team calls, and a lot of times they're based on what's going on in my life at this time with the business. And I've been doing this for 2.5 years, but there are coaches who are new, and there are coaches who are more seasoned, and there are coaches who work, and they're whatever, we're all over the place. So I started just listing out some topics. And so as I go through, these are things that I'm going to post in the team page, different times that I'll go live and talk about different topics that will then support everyone. So I have a list of that. So when I'm sitting there and I'm going, you know what, I haven't posted in the team page in a while, I can slap one of those up, right? So having that list is helping me to just jog my memory, and it saves me that time. The other thing I did to save time as far as lists is I made a list of inactive coaches. I made a list of current challengers. So I'm not sitting there and going through my Facebook messages or having to go into my customer list. Those lists are right here for me. Having a list of what you're going to do on a daily basis. So we know we're going to do the 4 vital behaviors, right? So making a list of that and having it on on your desk every morning when you, or wherever you're working from, on, your screen, on your computer, whatever. So these are my 4 vital behaviors. This is what I'm going to do. Having a weekly list. So if that every week, I wrote this down for myself the other day. So I wrote down, pick a day to message all coaches and all customers. So I plan that on every Wednesday, I'm going to message every one of my personally sponsored coaches. And every Thursday, I'm going to message every one of my current customers. That way I know that I'm keeping in constant contact. And by doing it all on one day, I can just sit down, block out my time and say, this is what I'm doing. I'm not looking at Facebook. I'm turning off my notifications. My phone is shut off. All I'm doing is I'm taking this time to message these people. And that's it. So those are little things that you can do to manage your time, because what happens is if you're like me, you start doing one thing and then an idea pops in your head and you go and you start doing another thing and then an idea pops and you're like bouncing around like a crazy person and you don't get any one thing done. So you're just wasting time, because then you have to go back to those things. So having a list and having a plan is your biggest time management thing. So having a daily list is going to help you. Having a weekly list. So maybe every, Friday you're going to have, actually, as you guys were getting ready to get on the call, Evelyn was saying she was talking with her husband, trying to come up with a topic for them to do, they're going to do a weekly video together with just different tips. So having a day where you're going to do that, maybe every week you're going to do a tip Tuesday, and it's going to be a video that you're going to upload to YouTube, or it's going to be a post that you're going to put into your blog, or whatever it's going to be. You're going to go live. I don't know, any of those things you could do. So you could delegate a day for that. You could delegate a day for those big items. Like if you are someone who wants to create content for your challenge groups, you could pick a day to create that content. If you want, you could sit down and say, okay, on every Wednesday, I'm going to create a banner for whatever group I'm running, or every, on the 30th of the whatever, I'm picking a date, but I'm going to sit down and those are the days that I'm going to make all of my advertising content, all of my banners, all of my ads, all of my images. So it's not just a fly by the seat of your pants thing. Those are just things that you can do to manage your time. All right. So the other thing that's really useful when you are managing your time, and again, this time management really goes along with organization, I think, and it's something that I struggle with because I am so, I guess a nice way to put it would be spontaneous. I don't know what to call myself, but we're going to go with that. So one thing you can do, and I think I've shared this with you guys before, but I'm going to share it with you again. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and hopefully you can then still see me or hear me. But you're going to be able to see my Facebook screen. So here we are. This is my Facebook. One of the things that's really useful is if you create lists for your friends. So if you go into Facebook and you go to, they keep changing the sidebar around. I'm going to lose it. Where'd it go? Okay. If you go to this, see where it says friends on your sidebar, if you click on more, you can create different lists, okay? So here I had created a list of Country Heat prospects. So I can go into that list, and this can be, maybe now I'll do this for Core de Force. Anyone who expresses interest in Core de Force, or anyone who I know is on my friends list that I think would be good for Core de Force. What I can do is I can create, so let's go back and I'll create that list now. All right, so you go into here. So again, it was on your sidebar, go to friends, go to create list. Okay, so now we're going to call this Core de Force because that's the program that's coming out on November 1st. And then anyone who I think would enjoy Core de Force, like if I did a post and people started liking it and I started reaching out to them, or, I went to the gym and there was someone who I used to take a kickboxing class with, I'm going to add their name in here. So I'm going to go ahead and, just thinking of that, I'm going to add in my friend Monifa because I think that she would like that program. So when I create that list, what happens is that, well, that was a bad example because she doesn't post anything on Facebook apparently. Let's add someone else in there. All right, edit list. I'm going to add someone who I know. Let's add Evelyn. Well, what the heck? This isn't going very well. I'm sorry. Here we go. All right. That's how you add to the list. Evelyn Patone. All right. So here we go. So when I do that and I go see all, there I can see who's on my list. When I go to my Core de Force list, this should, okay, so anyone who's in here, all of their stuff from their newsfeed is gonna pop up in this list. So there's Ev, okay? If Monifa was posting on Facebook, she would be showing up here too. But she isn't, so she's not. The purpose of this is that, you know, now you have these people all organized by a list. So maybe they're people who you think would be a good coach. Maybe they're people, this is a good idea. This is, let's say, you know you should be adding 3 to 5 people to your friends list every day, right? So let's say for the month of September, every person you add, you could create a list that's called September Friends, okay? So create a list called September Friends, and then you add in all of those new friends. The thing that's really cool about that is that then you've got all these people on a list. You can go into the list and you can see all of their posts, and now you can start forming them. So this is going to cut down on that scrolling time. It's going to cut down on that tracking. Here I know, okay, here's this girl, Dana. She just posted this. I can go in and I can like her post. Now I know also her son had a birthday party. So if I'm having a conversation with her, I can say, oh my gosh, you know, whatever. Your son's birthday party looked like so much fun. Where did you have it? Grayson's birthday's coming up. I'm looking for somewhere to have it. Okay. I can form her. Here's another girl. I can form them, right? So these are all people, and I don't even know what that means, but whatever. I can form them. So that's the point. So if they're my September people, I'm not inviting September people. I am just forming them. So then in October, I can go into that September list again. And now I can start to have conversations with them. And now I can start to go in for the invite. So this is going to help you to really form people and to really, you know, maintain those relationships, because that's what this is all about. But it's also just keeping you really organized. The other thing that you can do is you can have another list idea would be to have a personally sponsored coaches list. So you guys know I have my big team page, but I also have personally sponsored coach list. So now I can go in and I can see, okay, how's everybody doing with their posts on their wall? Here's Jen, she's doing great. She cheated on the reset. Well, that stinks. But so anyway, here it is. I don't have to scroll through my feed. I can just go in and it cuts down time. I can scroll through there instead. Okay, so that's the purpose of those lists. You can do personally sponsored coach list. You can do downline coaches list. So maybe you want to add a couple levels down. Recently added from September, you could do that each and every month. You can do a potential coaches list. So you're watching their posts and you're seeing, okay, would they make a good coach? Potential challengers, like I said, with the Core de Force. That list thing, I swear, is gold. If you use that, guys, it's going to simplify your life, because otherwise you're going to get sucked into Facebook. And the next thing you know, like, you know, you're getting an alert for this, an alert for that, and you forgot what you were working on. If you sit down to work and you go, just, you know, let's say in the morning, you sit down and you go, okay, I need to start some conversations today. You sit down and you go to those lists and you set yourself a timer and say, okay, I have 30 minutes to have conversations. I need to talk to 5 people today. I'm going to go through these lists and I'm going to, you know, take notes on who I talked to today. The other thing that I started doing, I have my Erin Condren planner, and it shows me my month, but also on each day there's space to write. So what I had started doing was writing the people that I contacted that day. And then I also started to write out a personal development takeaway. So like, you know, if I look back, let's say, on Monday, September 5th, I wrote down, work harder for yourself than you ever did for anyone else. Don't overthink your posts. Don't be a hoarder of knowledge. So I can go back and look at those little personal development nuggets, and I can also look at who I spoke to on those days. So it's really just, it's keeping track to save yourself time in the long run. The other time management thing that you can do is plan your month ahead. So if you look at your calendar and you write out your month, I'm going to actually do that tonight when I get off of this call. I'm going to write out my October month and I will share it with all of you. And then you guys can kind of see where you want to go with yours. All right, what else do I have here? Daily list, okay. The other thing I really want to talk to you guys about in conjunction with time management is the idea of this, and I want you to remember this. I'm going to put this post right in our team page. I can stop sharing now. So the other thing I wanted to say is This quote I heard, it's complexity is the enemy of success. Complexity is the enemy of success. I was talking with Kathy today, and she even said, I think some people just overcomplicate things, and that's why they get overwhelmed, and that's why they get into a funk. There are so many distractions in this business, in life in general, right? And like I said, this month has been a little bit crazy. Like, I think almost everyone I talk to is like, oh my God, I have such anxiety. Oh my God, I'm so stressed out. Oh my God, I'm this. Really, I know it's not just me, and I know it's not just you, and I know it's everyone, whether you're in this business or just a person going through life. It's just a weird, everybody, I think it's just because it's a change. It's like, kids are going back to school, summer is over. It's just a shift for everyone. And I think what happens though, is that we want it all. We want to do it all. We want it to be perfect. We want the, perfectly edited pictures and the perfectly put together posts. And we want the sponsored ads, and we want this, and we want that. And we want a new challenge, guide. And guys, stop reinventing the wheel. Stop overthinking this. Here's the deal with this business. We help people. We have conversations with people. We share our journeys. We help people on their journey. That's it. When you talk to your challengers about their experience in your challenge group, I guarantee you that what they're taking away from that isn't the content necessarily that you're posting every day. It's the support that you're giving. It's the camaraderie that you're providing. It's the way that you're there to cheer them on when they're feeling down. It's the way that you're there to give them advice when they had a bad day or when they have an upcoming trip. We've got these challenge group guides. And if you're a new coach on here, I know Diane's on here, we have guides already created for challenge groups. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Come up with new ideas, right? And spice it up. But here's something that I heard someone say a couple of weeks ago, and I thought this was great. It's like we all have that Christmas tree, but we all bring it into our house. We all have the same darn thing, but we can put our own decorations on it. We can put our own ornaments on it. We can throw the tinsel on, the lights on, all those things to make it our own. But if we just stick with that one basic thing that we all have the same, we stick with that challenge group guide, we stick with the way we're training, we stick with, don't keep trying to reinvent it. Don't be bringing a freaking lilac bush into your house and calling it a Christmas tree and then having to decorate it. Just stick with what's there. Stick with what's there and then make it your own. Stick with your challenge group guide and then add in your own flair. So what I'm doing this coming month is I'm sticking with the challenge group guide, but then I'm adding in this happiness project thing because it's my personal development anyway. So each day I'm going to share the happiness project. I'm going to share happiness quotes, and that's it. So it's something new for those challengers who've been with me before. And maybe yours is going to be that you're going to do Squat-tober and you still follow the challenge group guide, but now instead each day you're doing squats, and you're following one of those Pinterest created squat guides. All of this stuff is out there. People are already doing it. Beachbody is creating content for us, guys. I can't even tell you. Last week I was talking to you guys about all the things that I was learning about when I was down in Destin, and all of the stuff that corporate has coming out for us. But there's even more. So, last week I was telling you that they're launching the new, what's it called? 30 and 30, right? The new training. The other thing they're putting together is, do you guys know the Coach Mobile app? I never use it. The Coach Mobile, not the Coach Mobile app, I'm sorry. The Coach Mobile enrollment, where you can email someone the link. So they are doing an overhaul on that. It's going to be a new, brand new portal, and it's amazing. So I got a call yesterday from Beachbody, Santa Monica comes up on my phone or whatever it comes up as, and I'm like, And they wanted me to participate in this. Basically what happened was they called me today, or I got on a video Zoom like this today, and they pulled up the prototype for this new app for online enrollment. It's amazing. It's going to make the sign up process so much easier. It's so updated. It's you can go on to this thing. You can put in your person's email address, you put in their name, and then you go on and you click through so easily. It's challenge pack, 21-day fix, flavor of Shakeology, boom, done. Then you can go on and you can see, did they read it? Did they, what was it? Did the email get sent? Did they open it? And then did they purchase? Amazing. So it's just, the reason I'm bringing that up is because all of this stuff, like all of the hard stuff, the company does for us. All of the advertising, all of the money that they're putting into this, all of the, they get the coaches together on the cab and they put together these guides and they do all these things for us. Like, it's all done. So don't let complexity be the enemy of your success. Don't let it steal your joy. Just do the things that bring you joy in this business. Do the vital behaviors and just go out there and talk to people. And if you do that, and like I said in my call earlier today, if you approach this from a growth perspective versus a goal perspective, you're going to reach more people. If you're out there with the purpose of growing yourself and, growing yourself as a leader, growing yourself as a coach, inspiring more people, changing people's lives and spreading health and happiness, then you're going to have results because you're going to empower people. You're going to make people believe that they can do what you do. You're going to make people believe that they can be as healthy as you are, and it's going to just make this business easier. So I know I kind of went off from where I was originally talking about with, time management, but I think it was important to say, like, don't overthink it, schedule out your time, decide when you're going to do your 4 vital behaviors, and set a timer, like block your time out so that and make it work for you. You have to make it work for you. So hopefully that was helpful. The other thing really quickly that I wanted to say that's a good time management thing is to reuse your posts. Like, don't think that if you post it once, you can't post it again. You absolutely can. Someone recommended using that Time Hop app, that app that says like, remember this day or Time Hop or whatever, and even reusing that way. But the good point someone made was, don't do it if you've recently moved. Like, if I went and used a post from last year and a picture from last year when I lived in a different house, that would probably not be good. But, go back and look at where you were last year. And even if it's just to use the quote and use the text and make a new picture, like, you can do that. If you go back and you see like, oh my gosh, this post got, 100 likes and I posted about whatever, copy and paste the text and throw up a new picture and go with it. Like, reuse stuff. Don't feel like you can't reuse stuff, because you guys know with Facebook Affinity, people probably aren't seeing all of your stuff anyway, right? So those are my tips for time management. I hope that was helpful. Set a calendar for yourself, set a schedule for yourself, make your to-do lists, make your lists, and just keep it simple. Keep it simple. All right. So I am going to unmute you guys if anyone wants to add anything. Do you guys have any tips that I didn't mention that you feel like would be helpful for everyone to hear? Anyone want to add anything?
I just enjoyed it. I needed to like hear, like, just make a list. And I know how to make lists and I know how to do it, but it's just nice to hear, like, these are the lists that you do and how you recommend to do it, because so many times I make one big list and that's even overwhelming. So knowing that I could do a list of, like, this is the day you talk to your coaches, this is the list you do for that. I really like that idea, because I was doing it all in one and it was just too much. And I was crossing off 2 things and then losing the list. So a little to-dos for each day and each week, and then map out the month.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love the 5 workout outfits, wearing 5 different workout outfits and posting.
Seriously, when I was in Destin, this girl Jen Guthrie was talking, and she's like, seriously, like, my husband doesn't think I'm crazy anymore because I do it all the time. She's like, but I'll say to him on a Sunday night, all right, I've got my 5 outfits. We're going out to the garage. You're taking my picture. And she does. She changes her outfit 5 times. Like, it's kind of smart because people want to see your face,
Yeah.
Or even if you're recording, like, I like to show like a move, different moves on my like page. Like, I'll record myself doing a move. I just love going live because it's easy. But, and that's the thing too, like, getting into a routine, because I think if you do that, like for me, I try to go live almost every morning after my workout, because for a few reasons. 1, it's when I feel inspired. And 2, because I find that it's usually a good time of day. Lately I've been oversleeping, so it's not a great time of day, but it's usually a good time of day. Like, people are maybe driving to work or whatever, making their kids breakfast, they can watch me. But it's also consistent. So people come to expect it, and they get used to seeing you at a certain time, and they kind of enjoy that. It's like, so often we think about time management. We think about, even with this business, just being consistent. Like, I think that's the thing too. Like, I think time management can be so many, it's like an umbrella for so many different things, but consistency too, because if you're consistent, it becomes a habit for you. So you just come to do it. So that's helpful with time management. It also is just, it's helpful for your following. You know, we need to create a following on social media or in, you know, whatever we're doing, because then people take us seriously.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I have people actually tell me that, like,
yeah.
I have one girl at work and she tells me, she's like, the first thing I do is I go on Facebook and I look for your post.
Yeah.
Right. So you're right. You're right.
It's true. And I mean, I know for myself, like that's how I ended up like in this business, because I knew nothing about Beachbody. I knew nothing about coaching. I bought my program on eBay and I just started following Melanie. She sent me a friend request and I just watched her. And every day I literally would lay in bed, like, how the heck is this lady up at 5 a.m. working out?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I guess I'll do it. And it was every day. Every day she did it. And to the point that if she didn't, I was like, like I was like waiting for her to fail. That's really biatchy to say. But I was like, God, she's doing it again. All right, I'm up. So, and I think that's it. Like, guys, not that people want to see you fail, but I just think that it gives you a credibility when you're consistent. And that doesn't mean you have to be perfect. Don't confuse the two. It just means that you have to be consistent because people start to take you seriously. It's like if you were at Summit, you probably heard the example. I think it was Summit. Someone gave the example of like, you know, you go in the subway and every day you go to the magazine stand and every day you pick up Us Weekly and every day you pick up Us Weekly. But then all of a sudden Us Weekly isn't there the next day. And then it's not there again and it's not there again. So then you start buying In Touch. And then you buy In Touch and Touch and Touch, and then Us Weekly comes back, but you're already doing In Touch, so you're just going to stick with that. Like it's consistency. It's people start to expect it and look forward to it. And then if you stop doing it, like there was a blog that I followed for a long time. This girl would like post her outfits every day, and I don't know. I would just like to watch and see what she was wearing or what she was posting and where she got it. And I would look forward to that post, and then all of a sudden she wasn't doing it anymore. I'm like, where'd it go? Where'd she go? And she just like she stopped and then she would do it, but then she would stop again. And it was like, well, I'm not even going to follow because every time I go on, I'm looking at old outfits again. She's not posting like that. It's silly, but it's that consistency that people like crave and they respect and it motivates them and it inspires them. So, and it's going to help you when you're consistent because you just know, okay, every day, 5:30, I'm working out and then I'm going live, or I'm working out and then I'm posting my picture. Or, you know, there's a coach, a friend of mine, Sarah Ross, every day she posts a picture of her kid's lunchbox. And I look forward to it. Like she's got like the cool, like if you have kids and pack them a lunch, it's called the Planet Box. It's like ridiculously expensive aluminum bento box thing, but it always looks so cute. She does like great, like she's really good at taking pictures of it. And I look forward to it. So I am so excited, like back to school, I'm looking at Sarah's lunchboxes, but it's consistency. And even though like that has nothing necessarily directly related with her business, it does because following about clean eating. She's showing that she makes it happen for her kids. She's showing that she's a mom, that she's got, you know, stuff to do just like anybody else. And it's that consistency that every day at 7 a.m. you're looking at Sarah's wall for this. And then if you're looking at her wall for this, well, then you see, oh, she's doing this challenge group thing. Maybe I'll do that. Like, it's just all of that stuff that kind of aligns with one another, you know? So like I said, keep it simple, right? Pick your thing, the thing that brings you joy, but stick with it. So I'm getting like fired up. No. So yeah, I think definitely the daily lists, like for me, guys, you know, you probably saw, I've got like that list of my daily, like, you know, because I was like, crap, every time I look around, there's things to do in this house. How can I get it all done? Finally, I sat down and I was like, okay, you know, this day I changed the sheets. This day I every day I vacuumed. This day I mopped. And it helped me so much because it wasn't like overwhelming. And it's the same thing with your business. You know that each and every day you need to be talking to people. You need to be a proof of the product. You need to be, you know, reading your personal development, and you need to be shouting people out. Like, that's it. Those are the core things you need to be doing every day. And sometimes still I'll be like, what should I be doing? I feel like I should be doing more than this, you know? Like, and then there's other days where I'm like, I can't get it all done. So if you have those lists and you say, okay, like I said, you know, every Monday I do this every Tuesday. I do this every Wednesday. And then also like looking at your monthly thing, you know, okay, I'm going to run my challenge group the 3rd week. So in the 1st and 2nd week, I am going to make sure that I'm talking about my challenge group every single day and I'm hitting Success Club by this date. And so if you do that, you know what you're doing all the time, and you don't have to sit and go, have I posted about my challenge group lately? I don't know if I posted about that. Have I posted about coaching? I don't know. Like, you do know, because it just becomes habit. So, and I'm talking myself through this, like I say with everything else, I give you guys this advice, and then I'm like, damn, I have to remember that myself.
You started this on just your regular Facebook site, right?
My Facebook page?
Yeah. Like, yeah. I mean, now you have different ones, but when you started all this posting, I mean, it was just on your regular one that you had, you know, whatever friends you had accumulated and yada, yada, right?
Yep. Yeah. And most of what I do is from my Facebook page. I'm only now being more consistent on my like page, which obviously, like I was saying, consistency is going to pay off. But yeah, I started, and I just keep, like I said, Diane, like adding people. Like, you'd be surprised, especially because you're just starting this out, you'd be surprised how many people, like, from your past or from different areas of your life. Like, if you use that memory jogger sheet, you'd be surprised how many people aren't even your friends on Facebook that could be.
Right.
So just keep adding people to your network. But yeah.
It's light. My husband has a light on a timer, so if you're standing you're sitting in one position for too long, it goes off. I just posted, I don't know, a new picture of me and Mark on the beach, and I don't know, one of just my family, because I haven't posted anything like that. And I'm looking, and it's got like this ridiculous amount of posts and comments and stuff like that. So I can definitely see that. And you know, that's how I kind of started with you, and I would look forward to your stuff. And Kimberly, when we were doing, I don't know, one of the challenge groups together, you were like funny, and I would look forward to your posts because they would make me smile.
Well, I'm glad you think I'm funny, because my husband laughs at me, not with me.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Diane, I
can't make notes. I'm taking notes. So
good. I saw that you posted those pictures. I was like, oh, that's awesome. Yeah. So what you want to do too is right now, all of those people who commented and liked, reach out to them and say something back. Like, best case would be you actually send them a personal message and say like, oh my gosh, it was so great to hear from you. Thanks for commenting. I never really post much, or something like that. Just to get the conversation going, so that when you do start to post about Beachbody, or you do post that you are a coach, or you do start to reach out to people, you've already formed those connections with them.
Yeah. So that makes sense. I mean, I kind of did that a little bit, because I don't know. I mean, even if it was just a smile or a thanks or whatever, but then some of them I would comment like, my cousin said something, and so, you know, then I went back and I said thank you or whatever, and then in this post I said to her, oh, and congratulations on that brand new beautiful baby that you had. And it's just something that I normally did, but I know what you're saying. It kind of gives it even more of a relationship, and then, you know, you go with the other.
Yeah. I mean, and that's, you know, like I said, Diane just started out, so I think this is all new to you. Hopefully it's not overwhelming, but hopefully what you'll find is that I think I can truly say that, like, this business is built on relationships, and that's what makes me so comfortable with what I do, is because I know that, you know, just by doing what we have to do for the business, we're making people feel good, and we're reaching out to them, and we're maintaining connections and friendships that, like, I feel like sometimes that gets lost, you know? So cool. Good. All right.
Very. I was telling Mark all about it today, and, you know, some different things, and of course he's in Maryland, so we have this crazy life. So if any of you, I'll just tell you all now, because it's kind of crazy, but you know, you do what you have to do at your points in your life. And so this is, oh my God, it's going on 3 years now that my husband's running a location down in Northeast Maryland. So we have an apartment down there, like 5 minutes from his work, and then of course we have a house here. So he goes down on a Monday morning and comes back on a Friday, and it kind of stinks not having him here. But I mean, they made it worth his while, and I'm not really moving now. My son Christopher is working, but he's living, out of the house here until he decides like where they're going to put him, what location. And my other one is an ASU. So I told Mark, I'm like, I'm never selling this house while Matthew is still in Arizona because I don't want to sell it after my visa. I want him to come home if he wants to. So, we do a lot of the phone stuff, but that's my crazy life. But everybody has whatever they have.
Yeah.
In a way, it kind of frees me up a little bit during the week. So I can kind of devote like on a Sunday, I'm not necessarily always, prepping my meals unless it's something on the weekend that I want him to eat, and then he'll have it, I'll make it for the family, and then I'll, be eating the leftovers. But, so sometimes I try to, do as much as I can when it's Friday before he gets home, or, definitely not like too much other than exercising and all that I do. But
yeah,
I try to leave Saturday and Sunday, which is probably the opposite of everybody else.
No, that's great. And it's good that you have that routine. That's good. Good balance. Wow. All right. Anyone else have any other tips?
Spell check. I have people texting me that my pictures all spelled forward wrong.
Hey, fail forward. Whatever. You meant to do it.
Yeah. Talk about keeping it simple. You know how long that thing took me to make? I got so frustrated with it that I didn't even look at it. I just hit post.
Oh my God.
There you go.
Ay. Ev, do you have any other time management tips?
Oh, time management. No, I make a ton of lists. I make lists and I categorize, and that's the best way I know how to manage my time, and it does work. It does make a huge difference.
Yeah, you're organized. You do have all those lists, don't you?
Yeah, I'm pretty much a list maker too. So
Good.
Yeah.
my dad writes things down, so I started writing things down a lot.
And I think the key is to keep it simple. Don't overthink it. Everything that you do, whether it's posts, whether it's reaching out to people, whether it's starting a group, whatever it is that you're doing, don't overthink it, because you're the only one that knows that you're, all the extra stuff you're putting in there. And sometimes simpler is better for people to compute and to not keep going, right? Because otherwise, Matt always tells me, yeah, your really long posts, I usually will read like the first 3 sentences and then I'm like, yeah. So you have to keep that in mind too for the rest of your audience. And same goes with, reaching out to your potential customers, keep it simple, and approach it the way that you would want to be approached.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, thank you. All right, guys. Well, if that's all we've got, then I'm going to let you go. And I thank you for coming on, Diane. I'm so excited to have you here. And I'll talk to you all later.